for mines, so he is really going to kick it into high gear here. And this is where we kind of get a chance to see how much damage Saxtree truly did take there and how he's able to prepare for what mine has coming his way.
Yeah, and we saw that Mine is actually upgrading on his machine shop already, right? That is almost certainly going to be speed for these Vultures, and he has a lot of flexibility with what he can do with this build, right?
Yeah.
He can just make the Wraith and do some scout. A championship player will kill you.
Yeah.
You know, you can still be a fantastic player, really. You can get into leagues, you can have good success, be a strong player that everyone respects. But the flexibility that you bring up is super important. And to be honest, I've seen some flexibility here out of Saxtree I really like. He sees that there's Vultures out. He makes a Sunken in his main. I mean, he's on kind of low economy, but that Vulture drop is certainly something that's in his mind and why he's made that Sunken.
Yeah, you can tell that he absolutely knows exactly the correct reaction to everything that he sees here. So he knew how to deal with the early barracks. He knew how to deal with the Vulture follow-up, and he does have everything exactly where it should be. But you mentioned that low economy, and that is something that can be very scary, specifically against a Terran player. So we'll watch these Hydras move out. Now he's got to watch out for mines. He does have that Overlord, so he will pick that one off. So yeah, I was just as surprised as you are, Artosis, to see mines instead of speed, where you might see, hey, maybe there's an opportunity for Vultures to just run right on through.
Well, mines is it's an old style, right? And like with speed Vultures, they're super good against Lings coming out, and they're good because you can, like, if you do go for a dropship, you can kill every drone if they don't do something like the Sunken. But I mean, the mines, they do have a place. You can definitely go for that, and if your opponent's trying to run out, like, trying to break through those mines against a very quick Terran player with like Speedlings or something is just going to be almost impossible because you have to send out so many to trigger even one mine.
Wraith versus Hydralisk. We all know who wins that one. But 3 hatches up for Saxtree with saving Larva as well, so I'm not sure exactly what he's going to do with that. But I thought that drone was up there to throw down a base, and maybe it was. But yeah, it's blocked by a mine, so sad, drone.
Another nice aspect, right? If that mine hadn't been there, then he would have been able to make that by now.
Oh,
yeah, nice.
A Scourge on the Wraith, already making these mutas super strong. And with the Queen's Nest coming up, I hope we see Guardians eventually.
You know what we're gonna... yeah, I don't think we're going to see Guardians this game.
Right. I will be sad in that regard.
Yeah, and you might see them tonight. Like, it's a possibility. Guardians are a little bit in vogue at the moment. Okay, great Irradiate, but...
it was a good split, though.
Yeah, I really like, actually, the way that Saxtree is playing this game. Oh, my God.
No.
Oh, you knew that was there, too. That's so painful.
I thought he had an Overlord that I just couldn't see, but...
This is so funny.
Instead, 3 Hydras do nothing.
Well, those mines really looking smart now, huh?
Yeah, man, I tell you, those it's a good thing they cost 75 minerals. Well, I guess it's 25 apiece. And he kills the drone.
So crazy.
MVP Vulture right here.
Yeah, that Vulture was pretty sick. Oh, and he
gets the mine down again.
It's too much, Rapid. It's too much.
What a tragedy.
But yeah, I want to talk about this exact build that we see Saxtree doing, because it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
This is bringing together a lot of interesting ideas around playing against 1-1-1. One of the... First off, he's gone 2-hatch, right? So he's making you play a little bit defensive, but it wasn't like a super low econ 2-hatch. It was a little bit because there was an 8-racks, but he got into the 3rd hatch as quickly as he realistically could. He played pretty defensively. He had to build a couple Sunkens. He was the first one you have to make. The second one was a safety. But the fact that he's gone into 3-hatch here, and the quick evolution chamber, he's going to get upgrades. He's going to get a lot of units. He's going to have a macro approach rather than an all-in approach against this.
Yeah.
And it's so diametrically opposed to, for instance, how we saw Soulkey play against Last in the round of 4, where Soulkey was like, I'm on 2-hatch, I'm going to kill you, bro, and then he doesn't kill him over and over. This is a much more macro-esque play. I'm loving what we are seeing here out of Saxtree.
You know, I would be loving that if he weren't trying to play macro and then delaying his 3rd base by like 2 minutes with those mines. So
that's
a big hiccup to that macro play, but look at his muta control. Oh no, double Irradiate comes down. So much damage on those mutas, but he's actually using it to deal damage to the SCVs. That's the sick 300 IQ play right there, and he picks off several.
Yeah, that was awesome. Like, great Irradiates, and he abuses mine because of them. So, Saxtree, I'm getting chills right now. Literally getting chills watching this. I am in love strategically with how he's playing this game. Control-wise, he's been playing fantastically as well. Look at this. He's keeping the pressure on against someone who's gone Irradiate. He's keeping mine back. He's hurting his economy. But, and this is a big but, that army moving out, he cannot stop right now.
No, he's not splitting. Oh, that was terrible. But the turrets should be able to defend against the tiny mutas. They were a little bit late or maybe just insufficient, so the mutas really kicked into high gear there. But it's actually, you're right. He can kill all the SCVs he wants, but if he loses all of his buildings, he still loses the game.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's got some Ling Lurker. He's going to try to run forward. It is a lot of Lings.
Oh, first Lurker goes down. Second one does burrow. It is revealed, but too many Zerglings. So the Lurker's actually doing quite a bit of damage. The Mutas come back, and I don't know if there's actually going to be enough here, Artsos, as the Muta's going down, and the push survives.
Yeah, but you know what? He's bought a little bit of time. This type of tank push, you have to stop with Defiler. Your main army is never going to stop it. I think he felt like he had to attack in there because this was coming too quick.
Yeah, and there's Consume, and finally the Dark Swarm does come down. Yeah. Thankfully, mine hadn't sieged there. Otherwise, he would have lost a lot. But, you know, the Swarm's out, so he will be able to defend, but for how long?
Yeah, it's super tough. He throws another one down, so he will get a Ling in here. It's only one. He really, if he had a bit more army here to fight with, I mean, he could clear this, and if he can clear this army one time, it becomes a game. But this push is still so strong.
Hydra's under Dark Swarm. Let's think about that for a little bit.
Yeah.
The Lurkers, thankfully, will be pretty effective, and so those will hold on, but only until there's another Irradiate to kill them.
Well, he's about to run out of his Dark Storm as well, so that's becoming a bit more difficult. He's got Irradiates left over here. Those Dark Storms are about to go down as well, so even though he'll get this burrow off, I mean, it's about to disappear.
Yeah, it just dies instantly, and I think this is just going to do it. Mine, the third base really never came up or online for Saxry. Takes too much pressure, and the Mutas were really good. Like, that was cool, but when he brought them back, he just wound up losing everything. And that's going to do it. GG, Saxry taps out Mind, wins game number 1.
Yeah. And
difference in PvP.
Har du hemförsäkring hos Folksam får du rabatt på till exempel din barnförsäkring och din bilförsäkring. Folksam, för allt du bryr dig om.
And here there is just none of that to deal with. So.
Yeah, that's definitely something, but again, the flat maps play a little bit different than maps with a ramp. It's, you know, this would be like in between Gladiator and Fighting Spirit as far as the way that this terrain functions. You know, obviously if you have that high ground advantage, you can really kind of jump up your tech quickly. Here, you're going to have to be a little bit more careful. But the choke is tiny, so that can be used defensively as well as offensively. Got a pretty good audience here today, I would say.
Yeah, started off a little bit slow, but now there's actually tons of people filling in. I know, you know, Best and Movie are both super popular streamers, so people coming down to support them in their respective matches. And just people visiting. It's the best thing you could do for your day. And it's raining outside, so of course you need to be inside.
Yeah.
That's the excuse I'm using.
There you go.
I would be inside anyway.
It just started raining, though, right as we were getting here.
That is true. It was very bad timing. I was trying to use my mediocre Korean to figure out what that is. It's like, so StarCraft players. Okay, I didn't see what the rest of that said.
Okay.
Either way, I was trying to do the second worst thing you can do on air. First is doing math on air, and second is trying to read Korean for me. So glad we made it past that one, Artosis. We survived, and now we're about to find out what this probe is out doing on the map for Best.
I think it's just a scout. He's going to go up and check out where Movie's at. Most Day Sapley. See what's going on.
Sounds like something like Bill or Ted would say in their Excellent Adventures.
Most Day Sapley.
Most Day Sapley, dude.
That's actually a slog forism.
Oh my god.
Old USA Protoss player, now Poker Pro.
Yeah, I saw him
he always said
maybe a year ago out here.
Yeah,
I'm not sure he said that, but glad to know the origin.
Well, you didn't get to hang out with him very much because he says it a lot.
Okay.
But, anyways, just a little bit of harass with the probe. Some nice moves here by Best. Of course, he did spend that extra money to get this probe in his base right away.
Yeah, the opportunity cost, but at least from what I can see is it's just a slightly slower cyber core there for Movie. Nothing too what is that, divergent just yet.
Best getting his Zealot a little bit later. This is one of the nice things because of that probe as well. I think he did make a Zealot, right? I'm pretty sure that's what it's at, his choke.
Oh, you mean Best? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, every time I see Protoss players just go Dragoon first. I'm just like, there are just so many builds that just kill you.
Yeah, like a Zealot and Pylons.
I'm so upset every time people get away with that. Or when I see good players do it and win, I'm just like, you're enabling so many players to learn from this and lose games. But yeah, we do see both players kind of, you know, being honest with their builds and just starting out. Of course, they're going to be scouted by things like that probe, so it's they do have to deal with that before they do anything super crazy.
Yeah, Bess is getting his range, as is Movie at the moment. See what the techs are going to be momentarily here. Of course, he knows Dragoon's going to be popping out pretty quickly, which will get rid of his probe.
Yeah,
Movie not so interested in scouting, huh?
I was pretty surprised about that because in PvP, I mean, there are just really hard build order counters, and you know, I don't know exactly if they would be super, you know, pointed enough this game. But I mean, Best is going for some DTs, and Movie doesn't know about it.
Oh, Best is going DT.
Well, I saw a Citadel.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
there
you're right. Okay, so he's going to win this game.
Yep. Gateways do not have detection, unfortunately.
No.
So.
And you know what? I think this might have even been a good read, considering Movie didn't even scout him. Right? It's he's saving up his minerals in a certain degree. Of course, I can't necessarily always mean that. If that became a read, that'd be something that you would start randomizing in your play. But
right.
He's gone for 3 gates, and he's playing against DT. So that's where the DT walks up and kills you.
So you say that, but I believe it was Best who played. I'm not sure. I think it might have been against Movie, but it might have been against Stork as well. In KSL, Best won a game going 3-gate into a DT player. And it was just the most insane thing I've ever seen. He should not have been able to win that game.
That's right, and that was a very specific thing on Blue Storm.
Yes.
Actually, he did end up losing that game, but it was really close. And he actually had a lead early on, if you recall. So what happened was he did a tight wall at his natural on Blue Storm with double Forge. And that's just, it's tight. The DT can't get through. Something like that doesn't exist on Sylphid. Or, you know, there would be the possibility of that, right?
Yeah. Well, regardless, Movie did not seem interested in scouting early. He is committing to the 3-gate and will be very sad when invisible units kill everything he has.
Yeah.
I mean, there are crazy worlds in which there are just too many units for Movie and he just winds up still killing everything and dealing critical damage, but I don't know if that's the world we live in.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything like a Forge Star yet. I think the DT you just have to send, and the second DT has to defend for you.
So he did trigger the warning that he's being attacked, and he's going to use it to defend instead.
A Forge instantly should have started here for Movie, and I believe it did. He's actually pulling probes to fight this. Okay, so, I mean, for me, I look at this and think that the DT was supposed to go to try to end the game instantly because it looks pretty obviously like a 3-gate. But instead, like, I guess you're still ahead as Best, right? Maybe there's more of a chance that you lose the game. So if you don't do this.
Yeah, and I think for Best, he recognizes that maybe the more valuable commodity than going to try to win the game is just having a Nexus, which can be so impossible to get in PvP. But now he has one. He's held off the aggressive 3-gate build, and even if there is a Forge started in defenses for Movie, none of that matters because there's just an extra Nexus. He's thrown down DT tech of his own, and a Forge.
When the DT started swiping him, he didn't start the Forge. He just started the Forge.
That's right. So the DT
he still just loses.
Yeah.
What?
No, he did things in
I want Movie to get out of the group today so that in the interview they can be like, hey, so you were attacked by a DT and you had plenty of time to get a Forge and then you didn't. What's that all about?
Well, the other thing I was thinking is, okay, so you build a DT and then you like hold position it to block the DT from coming in, but like even he didn't even have time for that. And now he loses the game. So that's unfortunate. Wow.
What? It has to just be a mistake when he was microing his units. Because I saw on the minimap him go over and build something that was Forge size the instant he was attacked by DTs.
Okay, what is... I guess he's trying to build a bastion of hope out on the map.
That doesn't do anything.
No, it absolutely does not do anything. Because behind this, Best is not still continuing to build DTs. He's actually like building units and stuff to win the game.
Oh, and you see, yeah, you're right. He's going to send DTs and he hopes that just free wins for him. And he has 2 cannons that don't get killed. But instead, Best realizes that this is the only thing that can occur. And he's just like sitting there with cannons with probes surrounding him.
He could build a line, a great wall of DTs to keep that Movie from getting into his base. Because he has no units that detect anything. GG!
Okay, that has to just be a...
Nej men Wow!
Oj,
Gud vad häftigt att få träffas.
Sån ära.
Verkligen. Hej.
Certain that Mind wanted to go for a gasless expansion, and when he saw the probe, he had to cancel, right? Because it's going to become very annoying. You're going to have like 3 SCVs out, plus he could steal your gas, which is going to slow down your factory timings. You know, just the harassment in general. He might have made a proxy gate, you're not 100% sure. So there's already like a book's worth of things that have occurred in this game and changed how this game is flowing. Like, I don't think Mind is prepared for a gas expand here, but that's being a little bit, oh my god, this is amazing because it's a hurt SCV, brought a probe out to stop it.
Look at how many times he hit that.
These guys are too good.
15 health.
I need to pause the game several times to explain how good and why good.
Somewhere Bisu in his military, he's like doing push-ups, and all of a sudden he's like, excuse me, Sergeant, I feel a disturbance. There's somebody else that's also doing godlike probe micro. So, well, for Best, yeah, he is absolutely killing it. Mind, slapping him back.
Yeah, this is becoming increasingly popular with regular factory expands to go ahead and harass your opponent's natural with a little eBay. It's actually pretty darn good. But yeah, this game already is kind of crazy back and forth. Look at that, he actually snipes that SCV. That was so low on health.
Wow. Okay. Also, I don't believe that Best got a Zealot. You know, and not that that's super as common as we would have seen in like the PvP, but it definitely helps when it comes to killing off people building engineering base on your I
would say
Nexus.
Yeah, if you're going, I don't like the Zealot with a build like this, just because, like, for instance, if you do get the offensive gas off. Or if you are making offensive buildings, it's going to slow everything else down. And if you're forcing them into Marines already, like the Zealot is best when they're like skimping on Marines, right? But if they already have 2-3 Marines and the Zealot gets there, it dies so quickly.
Well, I mean, you say that, but the last time, Best was obviously doing a different build more aggressively. His Zealots just killed everything. So all I'm trying to say is the more it looks like the last series, the better it is for Best. But we'll see what he's going for. Reaver Tech on the way.
Can't deny these things you're saying, Rapid, for sure. Yeah, the Reaver Tech going to be an interesting one here. Mind hasn't added a second factory as of yet. Let's see if he goes for it. I don't think that he's going to. I think it's kind of everything's been thrown off enough.
Yeah.
Well, he'll probably make the second factory, but the move out, I guess, is what I'm really talking about, right?
Right.
And so on these types of move outs, if you do end up doing this move out, and he'll have to build a couple more Marines. If he lands this and starts making Marines, it's because he's going to go attack. Yeah. But it's going to be late. This is like a very quick robo. He's going to have that Reaver out extremely quickly before the push can hit. So I don't think that he has any chance of actually getting damage done with the push.
Yeah, every time you say Marines and there's a Protoss as your opponent, going Reavers, I just all I see is a bunch of hefty bags full of tomato sauce exploding. So hopefully that is not what is in our future here. And it does look like, he is just adding on factories, going into that mech.
So he should be making like at least an academy and an armory at this point. It has to start to build up that tech tree a little bit. He's been a little bit stifled in certain ways, but he's like pretty safe at the moment. Here comes the Reaver now.
Indeed,
this is a very quick Reaver.
On the way. You're absolutely right. What are we at? Oh, yeah, 6 minutes, 20 seconds. That is, I think this is similar to what he did in the, I think it's game 2 of their previous series, and it just kind of killed everything. This time there's tanks out, and there weren't in that one, but we'll see how effective this is.
He's got enough that he can definitely defend against it, and his building placements are starting to get pretty good. Like, he has a deep on the edge of his base, so that could see the shuttle before it gets to his actual main part of his base where the damage can get done.
All right, so how effective is this going to be? It looks like it's just going to get all the way in. Tanks finally coming back, but they won't be sieged. Here comes the Reaver. How good's the shot? There is 3 taken down. More. That's the money shot. And the Marines don't get there in time to push the shuttle away or threaten it. I mean, he's going to head out, but that's already like 7-8 kills.
Yeah, that was. I think it got 7 overall, and that is such a legitimate first run at the Reaver.
Absolutely worth rushing
that really quickly. Yeah, no, that was super, super good. I mean, if he blocks it perfectly, then the game is pretty even, but taking that much damage, I think there's nothing Mind can do except expand from here. There's not going to be any sort of timing that he can hit. Like, the Best is kind of dictating the pace of this game thus far.
Oh, really? From minute 1, that early scouting probe, getting not critical damage done, but just being so annoying that it throws Mind off. And that's a lot of Brood War is specifically just like mechanical, right? But it's so what do you do with your mind if your mechanics are just so godlike? Well, one of the things you can do is think about how to kind of right the ship, right? If you do take that early damage or just harassment, I want to see what Mind's mind does with that. How does he get back on track?
Well, he's actually chosen what to do to get back on track, and it's very interesting. We saw him scan that observer.
Yeah.
He's got Goliath all on the edge of his base. This is not just for Reavers, but it's to catch observers as well, because he is going for a heavy 2-base push.
Okay.
And this can work. You make enough Goliaths so you can pick off the shuttle, because the shuttle is almost everything for Best right now. The Dragoons are like just kind of buffering. They help, obviously, but if he can deal well with the Reavers, with the shuttle, that is where Best has put most of his money.
Runs the Vultures forward and kind of holds off that Reaver for just a second. So this heavy push, I don't know if Best necessarily has gotten the signal for it yet, but he is going to stop the Vultures from getting in to see anything, including that third.
Yeah, and every unit pickoff definitely does count right now. Is that Best going up for 6 gates at the moment, it looked like? The 5th factory being added, that's about as much as you really can have on 2 bases. You can technically get up to 6, but it's mostly Vultures. But he's got his gases, and he's got a healthy Goliath count and all this. Yeah, look at that. He's even got the range. So
I think that's the 3rd scan he's used to try to kill that. He lifted, so he tried to scan and kill it, but he got high ground and avoided vision. And then he tried again, but it flew out of range because Charon boosters weren't done.
Yeah.
And now finally he's killed it off. So maybe a little bit slow on that, but he has eliminated that scouting information.
Yeah, he really doesn't want Best to know exactly what's going on. If Mind can get up really far and close to in position before he has to siege, that makes the push so much stronger.
Okay, so he's got to be looking at this opening. He knows there's going to be another observer coming up soon, and if he can take that one out, then absolutely, yeah, the elements of surprise will be his. But now running forward, can he catch this shuttle? Well, there's only one Goliath here, but he kills off the Reaver. A huge pickup for Mind. Yeah,
it's definitely a good one. The 2nd Reaver does pop out. This is some great micro by Best as well. Just getting a few Scarab shots here and there. Really important stuff. Oh, wow. Gets a take.
Oh, yeah, and one's very heavily damaged. Those Dragoons might even be able to pick that one up. But more importantly, he might even actually... Oh, 2! The bonus round here. Look at Best just so adeptly handling this. His equanimity, the calmness under pressure of this push, so sick.
Just fantastic execution there by Best. Just fantastic. What else can be said?
This is akin to like some of the stuff we'd watch Bisu do in high-pressure micro situations. He just handles it so perfectly. I know he's going back for the and one, trying to fly back in the base.
Well, this is a great call as well. Like, go back and harass. Taxes multitasking, because Best has enough gates. He's fine, man.
Artosis.
Oh, jeez.
GG. No.
Yeah, this is...
yeah, everything there's going to die, so this push has got to do it. Some great mind hits coming through, but the Zealots on top of these first tanks. Now, it's a pretty deep line, but the Dragoons just keep coming. But with no Zealot support, this might be a whole lot of blue goo in our future.
Well, he's got the high ground there.
Oh, no. What?
I think that Best has basically sealed this game at this point.
Yep, that's it. GG. Best dominates through to advance out first from Group C.
Well, that was really a masterclass of PvT from Best. He's so good at this matchup. And I tell you, the more I'm watching him play against everybody except Flash, like he does very well against Flash as well, but I mean, he's so monstrous. He's just better at this matchup than Mind is at the other side. There's no question.
Yeah. Best just dominating. I think a lot of people predicted Best to get out first in his group, but I did not, and probably even Best didn't expect the games to just look that good for him. What a god. I cannot survivor. So changed a few different things about it, so that definitely could have changed. There's a bunch of minerals stacked up there too if you want to try to mine through that, but that takes a little bit longer.
There's 24 there, so you'd have to bring 3 workers to get through.
Yeah, which is just going to take quite a while.
The latest version that I played was 24. I'm pretty sure that this is that version, but I guess you never really know, do you?
I guess somebody out there does, and that person will tweet or post on the internet angrily about it.
No doubt.
Yeah, I will get helpful feedback and go on living my blessed life.
Look at that, the cannon in the main base,
he is
knowing that he's going to get in.
Bunkering down. This is 2 at the front and 1 in the main. I mean, I feel like there's a joke to make about that, but the best part about this is that, the eventuality will occur, and we will be prepared for it.
Yeah. Look at that. That back cannon actually... So that's why that back cannon is there. That is actually more just in case he does a move like this with the Zerglings.
Yeah, it's a
it
free
actually
lane with
just reaches them. It's not like they have free reign at the Nexus. So it actually protects the Nexus. That's really smart. Okay, now I understand a new thing.
So now you can play Protoss even better, Artosis.
Yeah. That was never really a problem, but...
This is really what guys like Sham 2 need to take it up from B to A level at Protoss. That cannon placement, that'll get you there, my dudes. So... the Lings in the base, usually we talk about how annoying this is, how it's hard to get rid of them, how dangerous they are, but I don't know if it is actually going to be that dangerous for Movie, who seems to be pretty well prepared.
Yeah, Movie is super prepped in every way. He's got cannons blocking all of his buildings at the moment. There are some more speedlings being made. Let's see if he does something crazy here with the speedlings. Just the fact that he made a few more makes me think there's a possibility he's going to run up and try to get a surround on the cannons.
If he did come through either the back door or the front door into that natural and try to, reach back around with the Lings in the main, I mean, that could be a possibility, and every Protoss has lost hundreds of games to that, but that's not what's happening here. He's actually just going to try to get back into the mineral line, but that rear cannon is just so well positioned. Okay, it doesn't hit
can't
there.
Get too close. It doesn't reach all the way to the minerals, but the thing is he has units that'll do that, so there's not a lot of play. So he's actually just evacuating. This is probably one of the only times you're ever going to see speedlings run out of a Protoss base.
Yeah, you're right. I actually don't see that too often. So the probe actually dies as it tries to scout Saxtory, but the last thing it saw was 2 drones hatching. So maybe that'll tip him off in the wrong direction, because there should be a bunch coming out here. Actually, no, he's just droning up super hard back at home with that 3rd base at the 12 coming up. Yeah,
so he's going up to 4 hatches, and there is a Stargate here. The Ling's kind of still running around. Gonna go and scout. We don't see any second gas as of yet. That's been kind of trendy lately to get that second gas before the Corsair gets there. This one looks like he actually didn't make it. It looked like he was about to, but still just sitting on 1 gas, just now starting it. So I think Movie's not going to be caught off guard anyway. Yeah, he already has the Citadel.
Yeah.
So looking fine, I think. I think he's played very well.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's getting a chance to play the game, more importantly. He's getting out there with scouting information from the Corsair, and is pretty well appraised of what the situation is. So, that rear cannon, everything that he kind of bunkered down in early on, does allow him to kind of survive until the next phase of the game. So how does he deal with what's coming up next? And for Saxtory, that's 5-hatch Hydra. Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like with that evolution chamber on the way as well. The Ling micro's pretty good overall, but how do the Zealots are just like, they bathe in butter or something. I'll never understand the mechanics of surrounds there. If you ever took a Warcraft 3 pro gamer and tried to get them to come back and play in StarCraft 2, they'd be so frustrated because surrounds are just so difficult to maintain. So, I mean, looking at the situation that we are in right now, I'm kind of liking Movie, right? He's starting to put on a lot of pressure. His +1 was never damaged, like he didn't overmake Corsairs or defense. It felt like he defended everything with the absolute minimum possible, and that's like what you're looking to do as Protoss. So right now he's pressuring, it's kind of making Saxtory make some extra units and everything. Don't forget, he went 9 full speed to open and made a bunch of Lings, right? So it's not like he has a giant economy at the moment. Zealot's in decent spots, but they haven't really worked on that Sunken. It will eventually go down. Wow, those have less HP than I expect every time. And the Zealots are actually getting in, but they haven't actually killed too many drones just yet. Mostly just the Lings running in. But now finally those evaporate. The Lings or the drones will be ferried out. And there's just a handful of Hydras here to defend. Yeah, he's actually doing fantastic with this very first attack. And I mean, this is not even that expensive for him. Look at this, the +1, the Zealots, the Dragoon even helping out, getting on top of so many Hydras here, forcing lost mining time as well. Yeah, it's just gateway units, and look at everything that they're killing. +1 speed lots, man. Whew, those things are definitely titans of the Protoss army. And there's more ferried across the map at extra Mach speeds, and even coming up the ramp, they will be able to kill quite a few of these Hydras. This is pretty awesome how he's kept the pressure on, but will back up for the time being, continually making out these Corsairs. And, has the DT coming as well, but now is the time to get that macro really going. Get your Psystorm, add your gateways, get a real army to play with. And the way in which he's taking the lead this game, I'm asking myself, what does Saxtory do? How do you stay in this as Saxtory? Well, anytime you're able to hold on and keep your base up, you should be thinking about, okay, well, can I get another base? What do I need to defend against the follow-up push? And now, finally, this big ball of Corsairs is coming out, and so I think this is what Saxtory knows that he needs to be solid against.
And even seeing that DT Corsair is roaming, he's going to have to be extra careful about this. Overlord's speed is done, so that's definitely going to help out quite a bit.
And he does have tons of Hydras from those 5 hatcheries out there on the map. So, I mean, that's going to be good to defend against the Corsairs, but it will be maybe a little bit of a liability against a ton of High Templars that are sitting back, juicing up back at Movie's natural expansion. So DT comes in. Is there an Overlord? No, Artosis. No, there's not.
No, that's a ton of damage already. Look at this. 4 kills going down immediately here by the DT.
Yeah, the bonus round here for Movie is he gets in, but probably will not be able to get back out with that one, such as the life of a Dark Templar.
All right, a good amount of Hydras out on the map right now, but he does have Psystorm, and we're going to see one in a second here.
Okay, a pretty good Storm. It actually does probably more damage to the Zealots. That high ground Storm, that one got him. Yeah. And here comes back the Corsairs to allow DTs to come clear this back up.
Well, always a good thing if your Zealots are taking the hits to move in with your Corsairs, but it seems like maybe his Psystorms weren't quite there. Maybe he needed a few more ground units as well, because Saxtree will push him back for the time being.
And there's also no DTs there, so even killing off all those Overlords isn't actually super, super valuable.
Yeah, it's just like a useful time to use your Corsairs, because the Hydras have to attack the Zealots generally at this point. But Saxtree's got some good macro rolling. He's moving forward with Mass Hydra here. And that faulty push from Movie, he's paying for a little bit right now.
Yeah, I mean, the Psystorms are still good, but the Lurker follow-ups are going to be what, maybe is going to be scary when it comes to breaking through the front door. The DT on the other side will break all the way into the main, though, so this could be what finally deals critical damage to Saxtree.
Yeah, that is actually a fantastic DT. We don't see any Overlords up here. Let's see how quickly he notices. Sometimes you're so busy elsewhere you don't notice for a while, and that's exactly what's happening. Oh my god.
That number in the lower right-hand corner of your screen is just the most painful. You know, they say 1 is the loneliest number, but it's getting lonelier by the second, Artosis.
Yeah, this is getting pretty brutal. He's up to 2 1s right now. I think he's killed almost every drone in that main base. The Lurker push coming in, trying to abuse these cannons right now. I mean, there's still a chance for Saxtree here, despite losing all that.
Absolutely. There's only 2 cannons with 2 more on the way, 1 more popping right now, and nothing really to deal with these Lurkers. They're getting tons of damage down on these Zealots, but all Movie has to do is hang on for more High Templar Storms, and it looks like he is about to have another one there at the natural. Oh, no.
Oh, he hasn't had enough yet.
No, not again.
This is insane. 1 DT is just eliminating Saxtree all by himself.
DT is turning the mineral line into my social life, Artosis. It is not going to be a... Hey, there it is. A perfect mirror.
It died and you never got a warning. Look at that.
Story of my life. You're stabbing me, man. So here we go. Finally trying to go for the move to break through, right? But will it be successful? No. Third Lurker burrowing, and so lots of damage onto these Zealots. But I mean, there's High Templars, there's big Dragoons here. The Storm of the Century landing on all of those on those Hydras. They all die, and with that, so do Saxtree's hopes of winning the game. GG. Saxtree taps out. We'll be eliminated with Movie, advancing on to our final round.
Okay. That was... Well, I mean, okay, so there was a couple errors in this game. The first big one from Movie, well, the only big one from Movie, really, that move out with the 3 High Templars and like 8 Zealots or something, that actually almost allowed Saxtree back in, but the DT, as we saw, got 20 drone kills.
Ooh,
so, I mean, when that happens, it's
heartbreaking. Of 3 hatch before pool just becomes maybe a little bit more doable. I don't know. Cross positions on Circuit Breaker or Fighting Spirit or any of those like gigantic maps, the games take a little bit longer to wind up. And sometimes you'll have players kind of break the mold and exploit that by going hyper aggressive, but chances are with the way these 2 players have been playing, we won't see that this time around.
Well, this is... I'm interested in like the spots here and the players that are matching up, right?
Okay.
Because I look at this and I think about the way they play. Mind likes to get some early or mid aggression, right? Whether that's a 2-factory play, whether that's the 2-factory push after command center. He likes 4-fact pushes, 5-fact pushes, even like some starport play. And we'll talk about this in just a moment. But they're cross map, right? So cross map, like I think macro play is generally the better choice because Protoss has to expand kind of towards you. So you're kind of putting out fires, right? You're gonna, for instance, you might be attacking top left a whole lot this game in a big macro game, but it's not mine style. So it'll be cool to see what he wants to pull off because of that.
Yeah, and I mean, for Mind, you mentioned that he might be playing a little bit more aggressively. Step number 1 is scouting your opponent, and maybe it will take Mind a little bit longer to do that.
Well, he checks the middle for the proxy gates because he is going for a gasless expansion here. If you're playing against proxy gates, that's going to become a little bit difficult.
I feel like this is what he wanted to do against Best, but couldn't.
Yes, I think that you are right about that. I'm fairly certain he wanted to do gasless expands today. And it's a really good build, especially on Circuit Breaker. It's really good. The SimCity here is very nice. It's not too hard to defend everything. It's kind of a big map. You really get that quick command center up. And then you have a few options too, right? Like he can go into 2 factory off of this, or you can go for a factory and starport play.
Which one will it be? You know, we have already gotten a chance to see a 1-1-1 executed. I really do enjoy like well-executed 2-fact pushes to just catch your opponent off guard. But I don't know if Mind really is going to do that. Scouting Zealot's going to find absolutely nothing for a long time. So both players are a little bit in the dark.
Like with this build, you can do a 2-factory push after your command center. It is possible. But, like, Movie's going to have tech out already, so it's not necessarily what you want to do. A lot of times what it'll be is you get some siege mode, you go into vulture speed, you have some turrets up already. You're pretty safe because you have to defend, right? Bunker at the front. The turret's blind most of the time because you just don't know what they're doing. But a lot of times you just kind of see some vultures out on the map, right? You'll be sent around kind of getting some intel while macroing up, and the game very likely to go big. Like, this is a game where I'd be surprised if we don't see both these players max out.
Right, we're most likely going to hit some double-digit times in this game. But to just highlight everything that this SCV is seeing, for Mind, he counts the pylons, he's noticing worker counts, and everything just completely makes sense. Wait, what? Is that Pacifist Dragoon? I don't know. But the SCV finally does go down, and so this is where Movie might decide to divert things, but it seems like both players are just opening completely standardly.
Yeah, everything looks pretty normal at the moment, and just the fact that he had the SCV live that long, like he saw no tech for a bit, he saw the Nexus. It was a pretty quick Nexus overall, so he's got some good intel. Now, Mind should be adding a second factory if he wants to get that second factory pretty quickly. We don't see it yet. You don't have to go for the double factory off of this, but it's a lot of people prefer it because it actually gives you a nice boost to units.
Okay, well, this is going to be a little bit of a slower start, Artosis. I guess every other game has just been a lot like faster paced.
Yeah.
So now finally it feels a little bit weird to see everything kind of slowing down. Oh, there's the second gas coming through.
Yeah, so what Mind has chosen to do here, and I think this is based off of scouting that Nexus and no super fast tech rush, he's gone into an armory and an academy. So this is a pure macro play from Mind. He'll probably go up to 4 bases. He'll certainly go up to at least 3.
And here come those Dragoons. This is sort of the prerequisite. This is what you see most of the time out of PvT. The Dragoons will get their range, be able to outrange the bunker, and that will be repaired, and then eventually Siege Mode will come out, and the Dragoons will have to back out. And so this is just kind of the game that we play. And you know, when I was first learning Brood War, it always kind of astounded me at how much you can kind of know how to play the game, but there were just so many mini games that you had to get right. You had to check all these little boxes. So like you have to know, okay, you're gonna have to have enough SCVs to repair there. You're gonna have to know, you know, the timing of when this is coming, and if any little part of that, you know, goes by, if maybe you don't know that it's possible for the Dragoons to like dive by, then all of a sudden everything just goes awry and you're not allowed to play the game anymore.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it. In fact, you see him push up again. He was checking to see if that siege tank was still sitting where it was, because 4 goons will 2-shot a tank. So Mind is pulled back. He's got his siege. We just heard a couple scans. So he is really aware of what's going on. It was probably a scan at the main and the natural, but not 100% sure on that. But this gives him like...
I think he scanned the 3rd.
Okay, yeah, it's a good place to scan as well. But yeah, I mean, right now, looking at this, if Mind doesn't drop a 3rd command center really soon, I'll be pretty surprised.
Well, I mean, as a Protoss player, obviously you do want to have the faster expansion timing and start getting out there on the map. So it always surprises me, especially if you compare, you know, this to StarCraft 2 timings or something like that, how long a Terran player can stay on 2 bases.
Yeah.
So I always want to watch out for that. But here's Mind doing the same thing that he did previously and trying to, you know, go for some Goliaths and maybe take out the early detection.
Yeah,
see if he can find that yet.
Specifically what we're seeing here, not necessarily the opener, how he reached it, like the gasless expand, but just the unit composition of one factory with an add-on making siege tanks and then one factory without making Goliaths. This is a completely brand new TVP style that has
where are the vultures?
Yeah, no, you don't get them for quite a while with this. So you get the Goliaths early on here. His macro will explode a little bit later on, but it's a little bit slow at first. You're just very steadily building up your siege tank count, and you utilize, like, basically speed shuttles are very important right now. Observers are very important.
Yeah.
And having the Goliaths out are a big deterrent to both those. They can also kind of fight ground units a little bit. So it's a new style, and I mean, if you watch like a lot of pro gamer streams, especially Flash, he's been doing this a lot right now, and this is. I'm wondering if Mind will get a 4th command center with this, because this is a very good way to play, to just kind of hit a nice solid 2-1 timing, even if you only have 2 gases.
Now, what I'm waiting for is to see whether A, he's just going to try to clear out all these observers and then push the mysterious timing, or B, if he's just going to go for it. And he has brought everything out front, but I think that's just to kind of zone and set up those tanks for this expansion coming through.
Yeah, he can't quite attack yet. Like, if you're going for this, if Protoss sees what you're doing, that you're going for this Goliath tank type of play, they can play a little bit more greedy, because vultures are really what you're going to be afraid of. If there's a whole bunch of vultures with tanks, it's like, oh, okay, mines plus the speed of the vultures running by, that's scary. Whereas Goliaths don't actually beat anything on ground for Protoss, so you're not, it's a very defensive unit this early.
Let's see here. Finally, are those vultures coming through, and they find a totally undefended expansion.
So wrecked. Oh my god, this is so much damage. Mine hit the jackpot here.
Oh man, this is not safe for Protoss for sure. That is that's so surprising, because all these Dragoons were just right there, except for the exact path that those vultures took through. Wow. I mean, that's the bonus round for mine.
Yeah.
It's the bingo jackpot, or whatever game show analogy you want to make there. And so that's the bonus that's going to make it even just that little tiny bit more potent when he decides to push out.
Well, that was a fantastic push. That did a lot. It's got a dropship now, so definitely going to continue to try to get some harassment, but luckily Movie does see that. He also hit a scan right on the Arbiter tech and the fact that the Arbiter is making, so that is an important moment. It looks like he's decided now is the time to push. And I tell you, this is a pretty scary push coming out. He's barely behind Movie in supply right now.
All right, heading out across the map. Movie will meet him with a few Dragoons, so that'll be the scouting force that tells him at least, okay, well, something is on the way. And so he should be prepared for that. So he's got his Dragoons spread out away so he can have like a concave or a flank here when this push finally comes out. And he's trying to get Mine to siege up, but Mine's just rolling through.
Yeah, this is really great play, just running behind them with these mines. Oh my god, Mine is just clearing this out so quickly.
Movie, you could tell he was setting up for this flank. Now he's going to try to pull the trigger, come from behind, and take this out, but I think it might have just done too much damage already.
Yeah, well, this is definitely really scary. Now, the reinforcements are being caught, so this army is a little bit alone right now, which could be a mistake here for Mine. We see that Mine is pushed up all the way into this third base, into this mineral only, but eventually Movie will clear this army.
Goliaths versus Shuttle. Actually, not all of them targeting the Shuttle, so it will get the chance to deploy its payload. But Zealot taking out a tank, and so this is actually going to be a good cleanup by Movie.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised here. Like, first off, I think the thing a lot of people might look at and point out is the fact that he moved out before his 2-1 timing. And while I understand that sentiment, he got the 3 Vultures in, and he kind of saw that it was just a Dragoon army still, right? He got the scan right afterwards, saw that Arbiters were on the way. That kind of gives you a good feel. It's like, normally when you go quick Arbiter, you're on only Goons for quite a bit, and then you get into your Zealots. So I think that the push timing wasn't 100% bad or anything, but I think how he executed there, how quickly he went for the third, is where the mistake lies. The reinforcements getting cut off basically is never good.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially that Shuttle getting to drop Zealots right on top of the tanks when there's 3 or 4 Goliaths right there. I don't know about that either, but the Mines of the tanks doing a great job against the Dragoons that tried to move up and take them out, but I think that specifically is going to really shut this down.
Yeah, losing this dropship and these siege tanks. He did a little bit with it. You know, he battled some goons and stuff and got a few kills there, but you got to be a little bit careful. You're still sitting here on just 2 gases is mined. Yeah. And now there's Arbiter Tech, there's 4 base movies, taking a 5th. Yeah, you've done some damage to his economy this game, but not enough to end it, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. You got to get out and try to do damage any way you can. I think the way that the new Peter Parker Spider-Man said it is eat or be yeeted. So he is getting out there and trying to be aggressive, but it's really not paying off. Movie is doing such a good job stopping it at every turn, and now he's bringing this Arbiter Tech to bear, and I want to see if Mine can deal with it. Yeah, that is most certainly a recall positioning for that Arbiter. It looks like he is getting ready. There's not a lot there. He's not quite ready. He needs that 150. Wait a few more seconds. Looks like EMP is on the way. Some turrets being set up, but he's going to fly right in. Now, does he go all the way to the main? I think he is. Yeah, I mean, there's not really a whole lot to take out right there, but look at this. Oh, where's the EMP? Is it right there? Oh my God, cash money right there. Feels good from a Terran perspective, I got to say. Like, so good, Rapid. So, if you EMP the first Arbiter and they went not stasis, but they went... Just the first Arbiter in general is amazing. Oh, and this also feels good. Oh, geez Louise. This is fantastic for Mine. In the future, when they embed tiny screens in the back of our eyeballs, Artosis will fall asleep every night to watching that play. Yeah, well, no, it excites me, actually. I want to get on the ladder and do it myself. But look, here comes an attack. I don't think that this is wise by Movie. I certainly do not. 1 Zealot or 2 drop out, the shuttle goes down, and everything survives. Look at how many Vultures there are right now, just totally tanking all those Zealots running through. The blue goo grows on the ground, and the siege tanks just dealing so much damage. Yeah. I just don't understand that attack. Down a ramp with a depot there, with that many Vultures guarding 3 siege tanks, and you know that, like, it's not like Mine's army is somewhere else. He just sends it down to reinforce. I don't know about round 2 either. No. Okay, yeah, now it's just not the time, my man. So, Movie maybe should back up, but he's going to go for it again. He's got Zealots coming through. Half of them are behind Dragoons, though. Yeah. So there's a 2-tank stasis. There's only 2 or 3 more that are sieged behind that, so the Zealots do get on top of it. Maybe this breaks through, but there's so many Vultures, Artosis. Vulture is a good unit. That is true. Many people have said that same thing, Artosis. They build quickly, and like they move quickly, too, so they can come right down and help. Yeah, it's 25 minerals per mine, and you get the Vulture for free. So, that's a good way to put it. Looks like a counter drop coming out from Mine. So if this does some good damage, Mine is getting into an even better spot. A lot of Zealots getting here. Oh, actually getting a little bit of a surround there. They're going to clear some of these siege tanks. And, I mean, anytime you're killing siege tanks, you're pretty happy as Protoss. Once global warming kicks in, those tanks will unthaw Artosis. Yeah. But that's really just enabling these Zealots to get in on top of everything and just be so effective. Okay, right as I say that, they all die. But the idea is, that actually did work out eventually for Movie. Yeah. I like everything that's happened except the overextension into the 3rd base of Movie. Right. That one early push we saw where he let his rally get eaten up. Oh, everything other than that, I think, oh wow, that's big. Everything other than that, I've really liked for Mine, though. What is up? That is the carrier tech coming out, and you know, this has been kind of a liability for Movie. This is what I was talking about earlier. His carrier play, he likes to go for it, but it doesn't always work out. So here's a chance to redeem himself. 4 carriers at a time in production. That scan was pretty awesome right there. He sees exactly what's going on. Yeah, and here's the problem, right? If Mine doesn't have 3-2 making right now, I'd be very surprised. So you're like going carriers into a 4-base Terran that now has 3 gases, already has 2 on 100%, and I mean, it's such a rare situation where you don't start 3-2 right after. It's like more important than adding siege tanks. So if we have 3-2 Goliaths on this macro machine of Mine, like what are you... Especially considering he spent so many of his units trying to break 12. Well, yeah, he was not able to do that, obviously, so he's going to have to reap the consequences of what is a very, very scary push. Let's check the upgrades. Yeah, he's on 1-2, but the upgrades have not kicked in, or the next tier. Yeah. And I don't know if there's enough interceptors here to really make these carriers very scary. No, not
that many quite yet. There's definitely enough Goliaths to fight this. He picks off the... Hey, that's a good pickoff.
Yeah.
But Mind is only getting one upgrade. It's probably attack, but we don't know for sure.
Ooh. Yeah, these carriers are not scariers. They are. No. They have, what, four interceptors apiece, and ooh, that's quite a few siege tanks, Artosis.
Well, right now, Movie is going to get just sandwiched, I think. He still has an Arbiter, right? Maybe he can actually recall that set of units out of there.
Is that carrier stuck?
No, I don't think so. I think it's like a weird rally where it just spins.
Okay, I'm like, there's no air blockers here, so
yeah,
that's just spinning around. Yeah, Observer pointing out very low interceptor numbers, because I guess maybe does he not have the upgrade? Did he not?
Oh, possibly, yeah. That's.
I think he might have forgotten extra interceptors.
Yeah, that could be, or maybe everything was kind of. By the way, Mind, I'm pretty sure just targeted a carrier down with turrets.
No, I'm pretty sure those carriers are stuck down there.
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay, finally.
No.
I'm like, how? Why are they spinning just all by themselves?
Yeah.
They should have been at least moving out.
It's just a funny rally. It's like trying to get to the rally, but
I wanted them to be stuck, Artosis.
I wanted them to be stuck too.
More travesties in my games.
I think if those are stuck, you have to make a regame, and then we can watch these guys fight again.
Oh, I wouldn't say no to that.
Yeah, no, I love it. Yeah, so Mind is. He's doing pretty well. I mean, he's killed 2 of the bases that have gases and the mineral. So there's almost nothing left here for Movie. I think Movie's made very many questionable choices this game.
I want our observer to click on a single carrier to see if he has extra interceptors now.
He has to.
Okay, you say that.
He has to. 3. Well,
okay, 3 is less than 4.
There's 4.
4 is not more than 4, Artosis.
No, 4 is not more than 4, but he's not clicking on the other ones, so I guess we'll just never know.
Wow.
Well, if they don't attack for a little bit, we'll be able to tell when they do attack, right? Because he would have built up to 8, and then if we don't see a ton of interceptors, then you know.
All right, we've successfully mathed everything out. There it is. All right, okay. Success has been had here. And for Movie, now he does have a very potent force of carriers. And, you know, carriers are kind of the miracle unit. They really can make anything happen. So you never want to count a Protoss player out when they have a huge army of carriers.
You know, I wish he still had an Arbiter floating around somewhere. I don't believe it's the case, but recall with carriers can be pretty hilarious as well, right? Because a lot of times what Terran will do in a situation like this is send his Goliaths after the carriers, and then his units elsewhere. So if you can recall the carriers to the siege tanks, that's how you can turn a game on its head. But,
absolutely. Mine looks like he actually might just sack the 12 and go try to pierce deep into the heart of the Protoss player, but I mean, that's it. That is a lot of carriers. They're doing a lot of damage, but look at how many turrets Mind has up. Oh my god.
Yeah, all he needs to do is slow this because Mind has such a lead. He has that bottom right base mining. He's got the 3 o'clock is on the way. He's getting into some high Templars, so if he gets Psy Storm, that's definitely something that really works well in tandem with carriers. Wow, he's making Archons.
Oh.
Okay, so that tells us that he doesn't have Psy Storm, I guess.
If he just doesn't have Psy Storm at all, then yeah, those... Okay, well, everything I thought he had to defend there, he doesn't have. So that's going to be a lot of damage by Mind. On the other side, though, Movie is dealing critical damage, taking out the 12, and now moving into the main. Or third.
Yeah, the carriers are doing some work for sure, but 3-1 Goliaths will clear this. There is no way that Mind is not going to hold.
Yeah, the upgrades for Goliaths just deal so much more damage to carriers. And now that's going to do it. GG in the end. The Scholar Terran Rommel Mind does prevail and advance on